Hello viewers, we have seen the introduction and instrumentation for size exclusion chromatography. One thing that makes the size exclusion chromatography very unique is the stationary phase that is being used, because it is from this stationary phase that the different sized macromolecules or the micromolecules get separated, they get discriminated, and finally they get detected. So what is the nature of these stationary phases, and what are the different types of stationary phases that exist, which are commonly used in the modern days? We have to see. When it comes to the stationary phases, we can see that the packing material, we simply call it as a packing material. That packing material, it should not interact chemically with the solute particles. Therefore, we say that it must be inert. So this is the most important part of any stationary phase that is to be used in a chromatographic technique. Since these stationary phase particles, they can come in sort of small beads, and usually what happens is, once this particle is given, that will be soaked by the mobile phase. So it is soaked into the mobile phase, because if it is not soaked into the mobile phase, whenever the mobile phase pass into the column, the stationary phase will bulge. So as it is swollen, finally the column may also burst. So it may lead to the damage of the column, and hence what has to be done is, before the experiment starts, the stationary phase particles have to be soaked in the mobile phase, and while soaking, these particles should not suffer any adverse swelling effects. So we have to ensure that our particles are to the finest nature. The stationary phase should be stable at the required operating temperature. So whatever temperature that we are taking, whatever temperature that the instrument is operating, the stationary phase should be stable, that it should not change with the temperature. Whatever particles that we choose, these particles should have a sufficient pore volume, because within this stationary phase we see that there are particles, and these particles or microbeads, they'll contain some pores in it. As they contain some pores, one of the analyte components get into these pores and it gets settled. It will elute at a later stage, whereas a macromolecule which cannot settle into these micropores, that will come out fast. So whatever pores that we are taking, the pore volume must be sufficient, and also there should be a range of pore sizes. So pore sizes should come in a range, because it is always not that we are taking component which has only two components to be separated. That could be a multi-component mixture. So for a multi-component mixture to be separated, if only one pore size is present, it is impossible to separate all the components. So whatever particles that we are taking, it has to come with adequate range of pore sizes, so that we can resolve the sample molecular weight distribution. For the purpose of high performance size exclusion chromatography, it is abbreviated as HPSEC. We can either use semi-rigid polymeric gels, or modified rigid silica particles can also be used. And this high performance packing materials, they generally have particle sizes in the range of about 5 to 10 micrometer, and their efficiencies, it will have several thousands of theoretical plates. So what are these theoretical plates? It comes under the basics of chromatography. It is not the purview in our topic, so I am not discussing it. Well, if I am using organic mobile phase, usually the most common column packings, these are cross-linked polystyrene gels, or it could be trimethyl silane derivatized silica. So this will be the material whenever we are using organic mobile phases. So depending on the mobile phase also, the stationary phase will change. On the other hand, suppose if the mobile phase is aqueous, for aqueous mobile phases, the most commonly used particles are cross-linked hydroxylated polymethacrylate. This is used, or there is also some other material, we call it as a polypropylene oxide gels, or we can also use glyceryl diol derivatized silica. This is used whenever the mobile phase is aqueous. But in general, we can say that rigid packings, they have several advantages over semi-rigid gel packings. So what are the advantages in the sense? Suppose if I am choosing a rigid packing, this rigid packing, they will have a greater tolerance for the variety of mobile phases that we choose. If at all it is a non-rigid packing, and if I change the mobile phase, these are not that tolerant whenever the mobile phase is changing. But whenever we take a rigid packing gel, or the rigid packings, they have a greater tolerance towards the shift in the mobile phases. This is one greater utility. Second greater utility is whenever we are changing the mobile phase, there will be a shift in the equilibrium. And suppose if it is a semi-rigid gel packings, once there is a shift within the equilibrium as the mobile phase is changing, it cannot equilibrate properly. But if at all the packing material is made up of a rigid packing, then the process of equilibration was found to be very rapid. It means it is just getting accustomed to the newer environment whenever the mobile phase changes. So this is another advantage of a rigid packing. Next, also what they found is for rigid packings, they were found to be stable at elevated temperatures, because there could be some experiments where the temperature has to be raised, and if at all some semi-rigid gel packings were taken, they could not withstand the higher temperatures. But with the help of rigid packings, such a problem did not arise. They were found to be very stable even at elevated temperatures. And finally, it also depend on the pore size. For the rigid packings, the pore sizes, they were more easily defined. So once they are more easily defined, we get greater information about the stationary phase, and the process can be easily run. So just apart from this, we will take some examples. We can see here there are some organic size exclusion chromatographic packings. Mostly these are based on porous PSDVB material. PSDVB indicate polystyrene divinyl benzene. So the stationary phase, whenever the mobile phase used is a organic one. For these organic SEC packings, we take a polystyrene divinyl benzene. And some examples have been given. These examples are PL gel, Shodex KF, Shodex K, Shodex KD. All these are abbreviated forms. K, H6, all these things are code names. TSK gel H6, TSK gel H8, Striagel HR, Striagel HT. And whenever the stationary phases are silica based, the silica based packings are given different codes: Capsule SG120, Hypersil, Chromasil, Matrix, Nucleosil, Partisil, Spheresorb, and Zorbax. So apart from this, there are still many other examples which are not covered here. So this is how the stationary phases can affect the type of elution, and whenever the mobile phase is changed, we can shift to a different stationary phase, and we can very easily discriminate the particles that are given in the analyte. Thank you.